scouting report. Which would you rather have?
I was honestly going to say Trey Harris. I don't know why.
Let's do Trey Harris first, and then we'll come back to the drop rate. I think that's a good way to handle it.
And by drop rate, not our receiving core last year, right? We're talking about
correct.
Drop rate. Okay.
That is correct, Tim. Yes, sir. And, of course, it reset. Let's give it a second. All right, we good, I think. Yeah, all right. So here we go. I just put up a little write-up on Trey Harris earlier, and this was fun, man. He was a fun. I went back and watched several of his highlight reels and everything. This was Bucket Skoldenberg with the reporting.
Bucket Skoldenberg.
So Trey Harris out of Ole Miss, here's what it says, and I try to keep it as simple as possible. The Packers under GM Brian Gutekunst target athletic wide receivers with a relative athletic score of 8 or higher, blah, 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 blah. Here's the blueprint again. Quick reminder, height 5'11", okay, weight 187, 40-yard dash 4.6. However, they typically go 4.5 and under, right? 10-yard split 1.6, 20-yard split 2.6, vertical jump 35 inches or better, arm length 31 to 32 inches, hand size 9 to 10 inches, and then wingspan at least 76 inches there, right? Here's Trey Harris's combine card. 6'2", 205, ran a 4.5, 4.40 with a 1.5, 10-yard split, 2.6, 20-yard split, 38.5-inch vertical, so he knocked that out of the park. Arm length, you're good to go at 31 7/8. Hand size, 9 5/8. Wingspan, 77 1/8 of an inch. Says Harris's 4.5, 4.40 isn't the flashiest, but his 38.5-inch vertical and 10-foot 5-inch broad jump showcase serious explosiveness, earning him a 9.19 RAS, well above the Packers' 8 cutoff. So we talked about the speed, right? The explosiveness. We talked about it. The agility is the only thing that's really unknown. So the Packers like a sub 7.0 3-cone and a sub 4.3 shuttle. Harris didn't run these at the combine, but his tape shows good short area quickness for his size. We'll assume a 6.9 to 7.0 3-cone, solid enough to pass pending the pro day confirmation. Right in the range of the size, obviously at 6'2", 205. Mostly wide. Harris played 682 snaps wide, but he still had 172 in the slot. So a little bit of versatility there at a 4-to-1 ratio. He's a boundary weapon with slot versatility, aligning with Green Bay's adaptable deployment. So his top 2024 performance, okay, it wasn't against like this crazy good opponent, but listen to this. Trey Harris's best performance in the 2024 college football season came against Georgia Southern on September 21st, 2024. He torched the Eagles for 11 catches for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaging 20.5 yards per catch. This monster outing highlighted his dominance as Ole Miss go-to target, shredding the defense with size, hands, and precision. The Rebels rolled 52-13, and Harris's career-high yardage stole the show.
How about these hands?
Career PFF grades. Tim, we always talk about players getting better every year, right?
Yep.
Listen to this. In 2021, he was at Louisiana Tech. 77.5. In 2022 at Louisiana Tech, he increased it to 77.8. In 2023, he transfers to Ole Miss to the SEC from Louisiana Tech, 88.5. His first SEC season, he delivered 985 yards and 8 touchdowns with a big jump in efficiency and impact. Then in 2024 at Ole Miss, 89.7. He increased again.
Yep.
Through a standout season, Harris piled up 987 yards and 6 touchdowns, proving his consistency despite injury setbacks. All right, it says verdict above the line. Harris's explosiveness and size are elite. His speed fits and his metrics soar past the Packers' 35-inch vert and RAS of 8+ standards. He could be a fit at pick 54. Physical, versatile, and ready to ignite the offense alongside Watson and Reed. His 4.5, 4.40 might nudge him behind pure speedsters, but the full package screams Packers wide receiver. What y'all think about Mr. Trey Harris? Do you think he'd be worthy of that 54th pick?
Why did he only play 8 games last year?
They said he had
Injury.
it. Yeah. It says right here. Yeah.
That's why I lean towards my guy, Jaden Higgins.
Who, Tim? Say it loud. Say it with your chest.
Jaden Higgins at
right,
54. Iowa State. Let's go.
There you go.
But no, Trey Harris though is definitely a viable option as well. I'm just kind of being a little sarcastic here, you know. I mean, just because he had, you know, injury issues doesn't mean he's going to carry that with him to the NFL. So You got to look at a guy like this for sure. I would definitely not be upset at all if he became a Packer.
Yeah, and like Drew D points out, college season's only like 11 games, right?
Yep.
Not including the playoffs. So, yeah, very good point there, Drew. Jacob, you got anything to add to the Trey Harris talk here, man?
Yeah, I mean, only played 8 games last year, but those games were pretty darn elite. Absolutely crushed it. 89.4 receiving grade, 5.12 yards per route run is insane. Drop rate of only 7.7, contested catch rate of 61.5, and get this, a grade versus man coverage of 95 flat.
Now, what did we struggle with last year, right?
Yep.
A little bit of man.
Drop passes and man coverage.
And this guy was just a hair off of having 1,000-yard seasons each of the last 3 years. I mean, averaged over 18.3 in 2023, averaged over 17.2 in 2024. All he does is produce. You sign me up. I want
the
him.
best guy around.
Harry Cheese says, hey, why do you got to choose between two? Are we double dipping here at wide receiver this go around? Listen, I don't think there's a spot on the roster for two, especially with the addition of Mecole Hardman. Not that you couldn't cut him. I'm sure that's just going to be a 1 year, probably $2 million deal, something like that. But I kind of feel like Goody's going to take one. That's kind of where it feels like it's at right now. But who knows, man? Could be the case. Could you imagine getting both of those guys? Getting Trey Harris and Jaden Higgins in one draft?
Oh, my goodness. Mecole Hardman's not making the team then. Sorry.
Exactly. All right, that's going to do it for hour one. For those of you listening on the pod, we're going to return with a really cool wide receiver breakdown on all the wide receiver prospects in the entire draft here in hour two. We appreciate y'all. All right, welcome back into hour two. Let's do it. We got something else here on tap. Now, Jacob, you said that 7.7%, decent drop rate, right? Not bad, not horrible, right? I mean,
I'll take that. Yeah.
And when you hear a drop rate, you think, okay, well, that's high or that's low. Look at the production too. Like, look at how were they attacking defenses with him. You're going to have a higher drop percentage when you're taking shots a lot, right? That's something to take into consideration as well. But what I did earlier, I did a breakdown. Like, you guys know, the biggest issue, we just talked about the two biggest issues for the Green Bay Packers last year were wide receiver drops and their inability to get open in man coverage. Now, I believe it's personally a lack of double move route combinations. That's part of it as well with man coverage. However, you go and get a guy that can beat man coverage. You find yourself in that situation. Now what you want to do is try to get him isolated to where it's one-on-one coverage. And then when they start bracket covering, that's where other things can truly open up, where you can run away from that bracket and gain that +1 hat count. Now the running game's off and going, right? But